Welcome to Taekwondo Tuesday. Hey Nate, Gravels. I love the Gravels. Welcome to Taekwondo Tuesday. This is Faye Morgana and I'm going to be doing a little bit of Taekwondo. Today I'm going to do something a little different than what I've normally been doing. I'm going to just do our standard warm-up and then I'm going to review Taekwondo Patterns. Pumse is what they're called in Taekwondo, so I'm going to be reviewing all the color belt patterns and see how much time I have after that for whether or not I can do 4, right? Wait, no, 1, 2, 3. No, my last test I had to do the 4th black belt pattern, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I did, right?
So.
I don't remember. No.
Yeah, you do the.
I did.
No, you learn it after you get.
Yeah,
the belts,
I
right?
did the first 3 black belt patterns. I actually have to learn number 4 and 5, the 4th and 5th black belt pattern. But for now, let's start with. Yeah, why don't I remember? Yeah, because you learn choreo after you get first dan. So let's start with our warm up, standard Taekwondo warm up. Actually, just gonna move this over here so I can also have another chat window to look at. Alright, and so neck, side to side, we'll do 10, counting in Korean. Hana, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, and 열. Can you check the audio? And semicircle neck rotations. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, and 다섯, and semicircle back. 하나, yeah, 둘, 셋, 넷, and 다섯. And shoulder rotations forward. Thank you, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulder rotations forward. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. I think I did it extra. And rotating backwards. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, and 열. And windmills. Arms out, windmills forward. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, and backwards. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Arms out, right? And count of 4 is 1 set. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. That's 하나, 1 set. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 둘. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 셋. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 넷. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. And do 5 sets. Okay, so arms like this, and we're gonna do torso rotations. So go 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. That's 1 set. Okay. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 하나. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 둘. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 셋. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 넷. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. And waist rotations, 5 counterclockwise, 5 clockwise. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Wow, I'm stiff today. And clockwise. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, and 다섯. And hip rotation, same thing, 5 counterclockwise and 5 clockwise. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, and 다섯. And clockwise. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, and 다섯. And feet together, knees together, bend the knees. We're going to do knee bends and a slight knee stretch here, just extending, but mostly knee bends. And 5 sets. On count of 4 is 1 set. So 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 1 set. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 하나. hana, tool, set, net, tool, hana, tool, set, net, set, hana, tool, set, net, net, hana, tool, set, net, dasa. And hold on a second, let me just, something on my arm there. Alright, and feet together and knees together again, knee rotations, 5 counterclockwise and 5 clockwise. Hana, tool, set, net, dasa, and clockwise. Hana, tool, set, net, dasa. And ankle rotations. This is my left ankle. 5 outwards, 5 inwards. Hana, tool, set, net, dasa, and inwards. Hana, tool, set, net, dasa. And switch feet. Outwards. Hana, tool, set, net, dasa, and inwards. Hana, tool, set, net, dasa. Alright. Okay, now that we're warmed up, I'm going to grab a little bit of water. Alright, so now that we're warmed up, so Taekwondo Patterns, they're also called Pumse in Korean. I'm going to throw up a link in chat for everyone who doesn't know anything about Taekwondo Pumse, Taekwondo Pumse, Taekwondo Patterns. There's 8 patterns for color belts in Taekwondo, and they're basically like, most people are familiar with what with Tai Chi and just watching people do Tai Chi practice. That's what they do with the Tai Chi practice, and as you see them in the parks or whatever, wherever you're from, that's basically patterns. So Taekwondo has the equivalent of that as well. I believe karate does as well too, but Taekwondo is a different kind of martial arts. It's a more direct style of martial art. Hello, Purple Justice. How are you today? Taekwondo is a more direct martial arts. It's more straightforward, and the patterns may not seem as well. Frankly, they aren't as complicated as probably Tai Chi patterns, but they're still really fun to do, and they're actually really good also for your brain. But anyways, here's the playlist of the Taekwondo patterns, and that's all of them. The first 8 are for the color belts, and everything after that is black belt and up, and there's 9 black belt patterns, because you start doing your first black belt pattern after you get your first dan. And so how are you today, Purple Justice? And what are you up to? Alrighty, so that's the link for it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the first 8 color belt patterns, see if I remember them. I'm actually kind of really rusty because it's been a long time since I've practiced these. So let me just check. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to watch that on here. I'm just going to pull out my book and check it on there. But I think I remember. If I get into trouble, I'll pull out my book. So let's practice. And because I have limited space, it's hard for me to actually do the patterns. What's the best word I'm looking for? Not precisely. It's hard for me to do the patterns, actually do the techniques properly. I can't actually do all the techniques properly because when I turn over here and I have to kick, well, I can't really do a full kick because I don't have enough space. Technically for Taekwondo patterns, there's a reason why you see people do Tai Chi out in the park sometimes, because they need an open space and they need a wide space. I think for most Taekwondo patterns, most of the color belt Taekwondo patterns, you could probably get away with 3 meters by 3 meters square, I think. Yeah, I think so. And then 3 meters would be like from here, like on each side, you're going to want to be towards the back of your square, in the center back of your square for the most Yeah, you're gonna want to start in the center back of your square, and you need a 3 by 3 meters, probably at least a 3 by 3 meter square space for you to properly do your Taekwondo patterns and being able to do it properly with doing the proper techniques. But because I have limited space, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through the sequence of the pattern to try to remember, and I will try to show you how some of the techniques are supposed to look outside of the pattern. I'll just pull them out of the pattern and show you. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably just start here a little bit. Gives me a little bit of space. I'm going to start slightly off from the camera because I have boxes on that side and I don't have that over here. So normally with Taekwondo patterns, we start in a formal Taekwondo class. The instructor will say Chuyet, and you say Chuyet, you go into an attention stance like this. Chuyet means attention in Korean. So this is your Chuyet stance. We stand with our feet together, move your left foot, feet together, and your hands come to the side, palm down, right? And then the instructor says Junbi, which means ready. You go into your Junbi stance, so you pull your foot out like this, and at the same time, hands come up, and you pull down with your 2 fists in front. And that's your Junbi stance. And for all the patterns, we start off from a Junbi stance at least. I'm good, how are you? I am good. I'm a little low on energy, but that's fine. How are things? How's the new year for you? Okay, so, and from here, right? So the first pattern I'm going to do is normally for beginners, for pure white belts, beginners to Taekwondo, I teach them basic number 1, which is not one of the official patterns, and you won't see that in the video list. It's a pretty basic pattern to teach beginners because there's only really 3 techniques you need to know in basic number 1. You need to know how to do a long stance, which is basically that stance. This is a long stance in Taekwondo. You need to know a long stance for basic number 1. You need to know how to do a low block while in long stance. And you also need to know, the other one you also need to know is you just need to know how to do a punch in long stance. And so those are the 3 basic techniques you need in basic number 1. Taekok Iljang, Taekok number 1, is one of the official patterns for color belts. There's a few more techniques than those 3, and I'm going to just go through the pattern just to show people what the sequence of moves is supposed to be. So I'm facing forward right now, like in front of me. I'm going to call that north direction. So what I like to do with patterns is whatever you're facing, the direction you're facing at the beginning, consider that north. Then your right is east, behind you is south, and on your left is west. And that will help you remember which direction. When I'm giving you instructions, it helps you kind of remember which direction you're supposed to turn it to. So for Taekok Iljang, I'm going to first turn west with my left foot, right? And I'm just going to demonstrate it. So and yeah, here I'm going to have trouble because I need to kick. Technically, it should be a front kick and punch, and punch. And you go back to Junbi stance. Okay, that's I know it's hard to see the whole pattern too, especially since I have a couch in the way. I could probably do a pattern here without the couch in the way. But either way, hey, what's going on? Duck ball. I'm Bruce Lee, be like water. I see you're a Bruce Lee fan. That's cute. Actually, these kinds of principles are slightly different. With Taekwondo patterns, especially the color belt patterns, there's 8 patterns for a reason, because they are based off of Chinese philosophy, and the patterns are not just about water. You don't always want to be like water all the time. So there's principles of fire, water, earth, ice, mountain, lake, various things. But you'd have to study a little bit of Chinese philosophy to understand that. That would be principles of, why am I forgetting, Nate? It's basically Taoism, right? It's from Taoism, isn't it?
Mm.
It is, yeah, it's from Taoism, basically. So, anyway, so that was Taekak Ildang. That's Taekak number 1. And I'm going to go through Taekak. I'm going to move on to the next pattern because I'm basically just trying to refresh my memory of them. But the one thing, actually I'm not going to move on to Taekak number 2 yet. I'm going to do Taekak number 1 again. With every Taekwondo pattern, you start at a certain point. You should end up at that same point when you're done your pattern. So if I start here, I should have ended up here at the end of my pattern. For some reason, with Taekak Ildang, there's a couple of patterns where I don't always end up on the same spot, and I think it's Taekak Ildang, Taekak Yukjang, but I may have actually fixed that, and Taekak Paljang. That would be 1, 6, and 8, where I don't always end up back at the same spot. The reason why you're supposed to end up back at the same spot is because the patterns are designed to be precise in terms of your movements, your stances, and your footwork. So if your stances are always done precisely the same every time, you have the same width, the same length for your stances, you should end up on the same spot with your pattern. This one is shaped roughly.
Sorry, I thought it was basic 1. I'm wrong.
What?
I thought you were doing basic number 1. Sorry, the basic one.
No, I said I wasn't gonna bother.
Oh, yeah, sorry, nice space.
Ijang. But it is the same shape, Nate.
Okay.
I'm Jackie Chan. You're both okay. That's cool, Jacob. Is your name Jacob or Jakob? Depends on which language. I believe the Dutch in Dutch they pronounce your name Jacob. But if you're English, it would be Jacob. Bruce Chan, Jackie Lee. I kind of prefer Jijayan and anyways. Okay, I'm gonna do Taekak Ildang again, Taekak number 1, just to practice. And so, checking my. I think the problem always is at the beginning of Taekak Ildang, you kind of move back a little bit when you turn. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. And then you go this way, and you turn again, and you end up going backwards. So I'm wondering to fix this where I was supposed to end up where I started. Turn. Step forward. I feel like I kind of have to cheat, Nate, and do something different, slightly different than normal. And I'm talking to Nate. He's in the background because Nate has a first dan black belt in Taekwondo. I actually taught him for most of his Taekwondo career. Just doing a little kicks for now because I don't have space. And here. I'm not gonna yell very loud in my apartment. And back to Jinbi. I'm still like too far back with that pattern. I don't know why. Also, another thing with the Taekwondo patterns, there are certain points in the pattern where you are supposed to key up. Key up means yell in Taekwondo. I'm not going to be yelling very much when I'm doing Taekwondo in my apartment. IP man with pics. Okay. And how are you, Jakob? What do you do? Where are you from? Do you actually do martial arts? She did basically teach me through black belt, yes. Thank you, Nate. Command Taekwondo. Didn't I put that? Yeah, I did put the command on my title actually. Though Nate actually learned Aikido, and he taught me a little bit of Aikido. I guess I can go over here. I'll go over here, not so far over. Over here. Go over here, I think. Yeah. Why do I still end up too far back with that pattern?
Don't
I don't understand. It's just the footwork. I think it's just this because I'm just going through the. That's like a cheat to like move the back leg forward, right? Because normally we just do this and turn and then step forward. But when you go this way, do they actually? So Whitney, I'm just gonna ask you this, your opinion. Not that you know, it's more like your opinion. See, Iljang. See, when we turn from this way and we go this way, we end up further back, right? So maybe technically what we always were supposed to do was go here and move that, so we don't end up too far back.
It's possible.
That's what I'm wondering.
There is something with the foot placement there that's not
That doesn't
obvious.
feel right, does it? Right. Yep. And then here. And then here again. High block, kick, punch, and then go over here. Yeah, I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering about that with both instances. Kick, punch. Yeah, I think so. I think you have to have the foot, but it doesn't seem like that with the other patterns. Anyways, let's continue. I'm gonna do Taekwondo Ijang. Let's just take one. Oh, that was just you doing the TKD thing. All right. Taekwondo Ijang, Taekwondo number 2. See if I remember these without messing up. So. I wonder, Nate. I wonder now if when we turn, our back foot turns and moves forward a bit, and then we do this one, long stance, and then we do this one here, and long stance. This is supposed to be a long stance, I'm just out of room. Long stance, and then we go 1, 2. I'm wondering about the foot movements. And yeah, and but see, you know, it was easy to get the Taekwondo Iljang in the right spot regardless. I don't know why. Oh, you know why? Because with Taekwondo Ijang, you can kind of cheat at the end with your kicks and adjust it.
Yeah.
So there's something about it. So that was Taekwondo Ijang. I was running through that one. Next one. So I'm going to start about here. I'm just going to go and just do just the footwork part. So 1. I gotta move these out of my way. Right. And then middle block, and then low block. Right? And there's a front snap kick, step down long stance, punch, right? And then you have to go here, kick, that was not a proper front kick. Long stance punch, right. And we go here, high block, and then another high block. And then we gotta go here and turn all the way around. Middle block, and then here for a middle block, and then here, right, low block, and then kick, punch, kick, punch, kick, punch. Thinking about this footwork stuff. Okay, so that was Taegak Ijang. Il-i-sam. Okay, next, Taegak Samjang, Taegak number 3. So from Junbi, see if I remember Taegak Samjang. So yeah, I think, yeah. And this is when we do our knife hand strike and knife hand strike and back stance, right. And here, back stance, and then block, block. Kick, double punch, long stance. Kick, kick, double punch, long stance, and low block punch. Kick. No, wait. Low block punch. Sorry. Low block punch. Low block punch. Kick, low block punch. Kick, low block punch. Okay, yeah, that's roughly in the same spot. Do remember 1, 2, 3 fairly well, don't I?
Yeah.
Those are Taegak 1, 2, and 3 are pretty basic. Beginner, not beginner. Basic number 1 is purely basic. Il-i-sam. They did build up on each other, as you can see, adding more techniques. With each following pattern, you add more techniques to it. So I'm gonna try. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I remember Samjang really well. Okay, next one, Taegak Sajang. Taegak number 4. Let's do this. Kick, step down, side kick, side kick. Yeah, I think I know why some of the later patterns it's more precise for me, because it's pretty obvious which way you turn, which way you move your feet, but the beginning ones were just kind of weird. Kick. Back fist. Well, this one may be a little different. Yeah, something weird about the footwork. Something feels like not consistent, and I'm not sure what it is. Alright, so that's Taegak Sajang. Ojang. So the first 4. We've got 4 more color belt patterns. Taegak Ojang. Now we're heading into intermediate Taekwondo. No, yeah, sorry, actually, 1, 2, 3. Well, there's 4, so. Sorry, there's 8. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5 intermediate, and the last 3 are advanced. First 3 kind of beginner Taekwondo, 4 and 5 intermediate, 6, 7, 8 is advanced, and then after that is all black belt, which is more advanced. Next one. Next patterns. Oh dang, see if I remember this now, Nate. I don't know. To me. Wait, what is it, Nate? It was do you remember, Nate? It was middle block? I don't remember. So you go middle block, kick, back fist, middle block. Oh, I remember now. This part I definitely need more room for. Then we do a long stance high block. This is where I need more room. Isn't it a long stance high block? Yeah, there's a long stance high block, and then from there, I'm gonna shuffle. From there, you do a side kick, step down, this. And then you go back to this side, high block. Then you can do a side kick, you step down, and elbow. Yeah, and then you just shuffle. So you do that, and then you have to go back. Low block. Oh, I forgot. This is bad. And then I'm not sure about this part. No, I changed. I got mixed up. Hold on. I haven't done these in a long time. So, low block, long stance, low block, hammer fist, long stance, low block, hammer fist. Right. And then the next one. So we go middle block, long stance, 2 middle blocks. Then front snap kick, back fist. Was it just a front snap kick, back fist, and nothing else after the back fist? Do you remember, Nate? I wonder if you remember. Yeah. I think so. Why did I do that? That's the previous pattern. Okay, I don't remember. So I'm gonna double check this. It's been such a long time since I practiced. And I know these books are correct because I used them over the years while I was training. So if you are training Taekwondo and you want a good WT Taekwondo, World Taekwondo style, if you are doing World Taekwondo style training, you might want to pick up this book to help you with your color belt patterns. There are obviously some things that you can't. There are obviously some things you can't put in a book. You can't put in like the fine details and the minor kind of tips you would get from a live instructor, and especially in-person instructor. But it does list the basic movements that you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to end up with. So let me see. Okay. Step forward, middle block. They call it the inner arm block. Front kick, step down with the back fist, right. And then, back fist and then an it block. Yeah, I was right the first time. Wait. Wait, Nate, there's actually 2 back fists there.
That's right.
Why did I forget that? And then, oh, that's why I missed the whole sequence. That's why it felt so weird and short. Let's see if I remember the rest. Why didn't I remember the whole sequence of back fists? I knew the ending was wrong because the ending ends up with the ending of this pattern. You end up in a twist stance. So, after the first four steps are pretty easy. Do that, do this. You go 1, 2, kick, back fist, middle block. Kick, back fist, middle block. And then step forward, back fist. So that's why. And then, if I remember this one, I remember if I go this way. Yeah, I need to remember. Goodness, it's a long time. What? I always remember 1 to 4 really well. I think I just need to practice 5 to 6 more often. Elbow strike, elbow strike. And also, if you are a black belt too, there's a second book for that. If you want to review your black belt patterns or you still need to learn the rest of your black belt patterns, this has all the black belt patterns as well. So along with the playlist I have that I posted earlier is a link to the playlist. And these books are actually pretty good for that. They are official World Taekwondo style for the patterns. So I'm going to try this again. So from here, kick, back fist, block. Kick, back fist, oops, don't step forward, back fist, block. Now step forward and back fist. And then you go here. What? Elbow strike. Oh, is it a closed fist? Where's a closed fist? I need my glasses. Yeah, back stance, closed fist. So right after we do this, back fist, we do back stance, closed fist, right? And then you step forward, long stance, you do an elbow strike, and you can probably see it better here. Back stance, and you step forward and do an elbow strike. Right. Is that right, Nate? And then we go back. Low block, middle block. Kick, low block, middle block. Okay, now it makes more sense. High block. This is when we do a side kick. You step down, another elbow. And then side kick, step down, that one. Right, then low block, middle block. Then you do kick, and you jump forward, step on the person's foot, and you do a back fist in your twist stance. Twist stance is, should look like this, roughly like this, is your twist stance. And you gotta bend both knees. I think I remember now. I'm gonna do that one again. And yes, maybe I probably need to teach everyone how to do a proper elbow strike. I almost forgot about that. Block, kick, and then jump. Alright, we're gonna do that one over again. We'll do that one over again. And then I guess I can talk about elbow strikes with people because I think This is, I haven't taught people how to do an elbow strike properly. I have notes somewhere making notes about like which techniques were introduced in which patterns. Just see. So Taekwondo Sajang had the double knife hand locks and the knife hand strikes. Makes it a fun pattern to do. Okay, Ojang. Taegak Ojang. A couple of my favorite patterns though are Yukjang, Chiljang, 6 and 7 basically, kind of my favorite patterns. And Koryo, the first black belt pattern is still one of my favorite patterns. Alright, let's do this one again. Taekak Ojang. Junbi. So we go from here, we do a low block, we do a hammer fist, we do a low block, hammer fist. Then we do long stance, 2 middle blocks. Then we do kick, back fist, middle block. Then we do kick, back fist, middle block. And now just step forward, back fist. And from there, back stance, single block, like this, single block, right? And then you just step forward and do an elbow strike. Single block here, step forward, and you do an elbow strike, and I know you guys can't see everything, I'm sorry. And then from here, long stance, low block, middle block, kick, low block, middle. And then so, long stance, high block, then which one I need to do a side kick, step down long stance, and in a long stance you're supposed to look like this. You're going to step down and do that at the same time. So you would basically go from here, do your side kick, step down at the same time. So, and then the other side, same thing, high block, side kick, step down through that. My side kicks are a little bad right now. Plus there's no room to kick. Now, low block, middle block, front snap kick. And then for your twist stance right here and back fist. And that's your target. And then we're done and Junbi. Alright. Remember that now. Alright, what time do I have? Oh, 45 minutes actually. Another 45 minutes. Okay, let's go over. There were 2 elbow strikes in this one. In this pattern, Taegak Ojang, there were 2 elbow strikes. Let me think. Back this, and the nice little twist ending. We all love our twist endings, don't we? Twist ending to the pattern. So the first elbow strike you come across in this pattern is fairly simple. We're in our back stance. This is your back stance in Taekwondo. Nice little L shape like I explained before. Not going to really go into explaining all the details for now. And then we're in this stance, right? But what you want to do is you want to step forward and at the same time do an elbow strike. So elbow strike, you should probably palm with your fist like this, palm down. You want to palm down to do your elbow strike. And with this technique, you step forward to do your elbow strike, and you put your hand here like this. I don't know if everyone can see that. Actually, just over here so you can see a little better with the hand. You want to hold your fist like this. So fundamentally, you're going to go like that with your elbow strike. So we're going to start like this, and then you step forward, elbow strike. And you'll probably want to get a little higher with your elbow strike. Ooh, that was my shoulder cracking. So again, from a back stance. I'm in a back stance, right? Shift forward, into long stance, elbow strike. And then the next part of the pattern, there's a mirror to it, of course, you have to do the other side. So when you do the other side, so let's see, I just did this over here, right? Sorry, that's not, looking at the camera, so I'm off my stance. like that. So from there, now you want to switch and go the other way. So you bring your left leg over here, switch to your back stance, switch it, and do that, and that's your back stance. And then again, when you step forward the right leg, step forward, get ready to do your elbow strike, right? So you want to be like, you want to have palm down, elbow strike. Yeah, no, you can't see that very well. So on this side, yeah. Or you can do, some people do this for their elbow strikes. I don't do that. I don't know. I just don't see the necessary. Just come out. So to do your elbow strikes, pretty simple technique, right? Kind of same motion, sort of the same motion when you're doing a punch, right? But with the elbow strike, what you want to do with your elbow strikes is you don't want to swing around with your elbow strike and throw yourself off balance. You want to keep this fairly straight on a straight line to your target. So you want to just want to go like that. So just think of pulling your elbow out, just like that. That's what you want to do with your elbow strike. You don't want to go like that. And you also don't want to go like this either and throw yourself off balance for your elbow strike. So you just want to just subtly, just like that. Okay, I don't know how else to explain this. It's just something you kind of pick up. So again, just elbow. And notice that again, because I'm standing in like sort of a sparring stance, you kind of turn your hip in with the technique, and a little bit of your shoulder comes with it. So elbow strike. Hey Deepika, how's it going? Yes, a roundabout motion would dissipate the energy of the strike even if it lands. Exactly. This is, a lot of people think that I don't like other martial arts because I did Taekwondo. I chose Taekwondo because I like the linear, the concept of using just the straight line to get things done. And I think circular motions are great for self-defense. Like Aikido uses a lot of circular motions because when you're trying to defend yourself, you do want to get off the line of the attack. So someone's coming at you, they're going to try to hit you, you want to get off the line. Do something to them. Nate can demonstrate that better than I can. Like for example, if somebody throws a basic punch, you can just try to do this, grab, get off the line, right? And control what's happening, and you're using your opponent's balance to throw them off, which is actually really good. I like Aikido. I wish I knew more about it. Having done boxing and kickboxing and dabbled in Muay Thai, that it's the same principles. That's good. Pretty much. Yeah, I've seen boxing. Boxing is also actually really linear, I think. That's cool. Not so sure about kickboxing. Kickboxing is cool. I guess it depends on the person. I've had kickboxers actually ask me about how to do back kicks because they couldn't do it quite right. And Muay Thai, I was fascinated by Muay Thai. But I think the Muay Thai techniques are more deadly because they do use a lot of elbow strikes, and like, you know, you do elbow strikes on top of somebody's head. Good technique, really good technique, but yeah, it's pretty dangerous. So I'm trying to imagine, like, and then some of those schools are heavily focused on just sparring, and I'm like, I don't want to spar every day and come back with like a bruise on my head, which, by the way, concussions, brain damage, long term, thinking about my future here, I don't want that. But it is a good martial art. I think I could probably adapt to some Muay Thai techniques, except for maybe some of the really complicated ones that aren't really in Taekwondo. But my hesitancy to do Muay Thai was mostly because it seemed to be too involved with combat and MMA, too much sparring for my taste. Yeah, it's dangerous, eh? I hope you didn't hurt yourself. And how are you today, Deepika? So again, elbow strikes. So this elbow strike on the left hand, same principle. You just want to come out with your elbow. You don't want to go, you just want to come straight forward. So, and again, I'm going to use my hip to get it across. right? I think that might have been a problem a few times when I had to break boards using an elbow strike. I thought about it too hard because I was thinking, oh, my elbow ain't gonna break that board. But when you don't think about it too hard, it's just a very quick, swift motion of your elbow, and then this way. So the first elbow strike you see in this pattern comes from here, and I'm gonna do it slowly because this is what we do, but it should really come out like that. So basically, you want to kind of like step forward and just, so at a certain point when you're stepping forward, you land the strike the minute you step down. And in all of the Taekwondo patterns, you want to land your hand techniques at the same time as you step down. So if I'm stepping forward for a low block, you go at the same time. So that's that elbow strike. The other elbow strike we had was coming up in this pattern. The other elbow strike was done after doing a side kick, which is a little tricky. MT is full-on combat martial art. I honestly don't think it should be a sport, as the rate of fatal belts is much higher than other disciplines. I'm fine, thanks for asking. I'm good. That's good. How long did you do Muay Thai for, actually? Or did you? Oh, you dabbled in it, so it's just off and on just to see. Yeah, I don't think it should be a sport. Yeah, it's yeah. I was looking this up some years back, and the most common injury in Taekwondo is probably just a broken toe. I think I take the broken toe over elbow strikes on my head, or something like that. I mean, hopefully they don't really allow people to do that just for like for the full on sparring. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I worry about that stuff, so I didn't want to get involved with Muay Thai. Plus, I really like Taekwondo, and I wasn't really done with it. So, I think even karate. Actually, I think Taekwondo and karate are very similar, and I think if you start with either Taekwondo or karate, you can move on to other martial arts fairly easily after that and adapt them to whatever you currently learned. You've had a broken nose and bruised ribs. That's about as bad as I got in your training before fighting roughly. I have not had bruised ribs. Let's just say that. I've done Taekwondo for probably about 15 years because it's pretty much straight. And the worst I probably got was maybe a bit of a cracked knuckle here when I was doing board breaking. And maybe one of my middle toes, maybe one of my toes feels a little bit floppy, like it doesn't kind of bend at the tip anymore quite as well as it used to. I used to be able to grab pencils with my toes. I probably still can, but one of the toes is kind of like not really, doesn't feel like it has as much control anymore. But that was actually a funny little accident. We were just like play sparring in class, and I think like my toe rammed into the other person's toe too at the same time. Broken nose and bruised ribs. No bruised ribs. My sparring partner was a woman. She placed second in the IK international. She used to. What? International kicking. Wow. So she knew how to kick at least. I think a lot of women prefer doing kicking for some reason, and I think I know why. As a woman myself, I prefer having the distance with the opponents, whereas hand techniques, you're obviously at a closer range. I mean, look at the range of my foot versus the range of my hands. So for me to actually do anything with my hands, with hand techniques, I gotta be a lot closer. But the range on my foot is like this. And also, when you consider the fact that with Taekwondo, we're often doing things like this, and you can go forward, so you launch your leg forward, you're covering a lot of distance. There's a lot of distance I can cover. So basically, maybe about 1.5 meters to 2 meters is a good, comfortable distance for me. I could probably, if I was training all the time, I could probably launch a kick from about 2 meters away. And that's the thing I liked about Taekwondo when I saw videos of people doing Taekwondo. I was heavily impressed by it. That's the biggest thing. International Kickboxing Federation. kickboxing's fun. Like I said, I think I met somebody who was doing kickboxing and mixed martial arts one time when I was at the gym, and he was asking me a ton of questions about how to do back kicks because he happened to walk by and he saw me and Nate practicing, and we were practicing back kicks. He's like, "How do you do that? How do you do that?" He's like, "I can't do back kicks properly." And I'm like, "Well, first of all, there's some basic principles that maybe you're not taught, and you know, like you don't spin, you turn and look, keep everything on a straight line." And that's the number one thing that I've seen with people trying to do back kicks. They go and try to spin the kick, which is not, even with a spin hook kick, you don't want to spin. You want to keep everything as much of a straight line as possible. And then, but it's amusing. So the second, and what I've been doing today was going through the Taekwondo patterns. So I'm on Taegak Ojang, which is Taegak number 5 in Korean. And there's 2 elbow strikes. That's why I was doing the elbow strike. There's this elbow strike from here, and then you have to step forward and do your elbow strike. Now the next elbow strike, so again on this side, you gotta step forward and do an elbow strike. The second elbow strike in this pattern comes from this way. You start off in this position, and then you gotta do a side kick. And then when you step down, you're doing an elbow strike with this one. Just try to remember which hand. So from a high block, you're in a long stance like this. You're in a high block. You're gonna do a side kick with this one. Now remember, a side kick is a decently powerful kick in Taekwondo. So you're gonna do a side kick like. I'm trying to do this in slow motion and I'm losing my balance. I'm trying to do a side kick like that, step down, and that. So it's kind of really hard. You're going to end up stepping down slightly before you execute your elbow strike. And so the whole premise is that what's going to happen is basically you have to kind of imagine this as what's happening is, so you block an attacker from here, and then you do a side kick them in the stomach, you step down, you grab their head, and elbow strike them in the head. This is what you want to do with that one. But the same premise, you want to just do that elbow strike like that. So right after your side kick, come down, and do that. International kick. That's cool. I think a lot of people are interested in martial arts. I think it's hard to stick with it. And I'm sorry about having a broken nose and bruised ribs. That's not fun. Though, I have been kicked a few times pretty hard. I think one guy, we were just in class, and we were just play sparring and, just regular class, and then we had to do some sparring. A guy did a jumping back kick and landed on, down here a bit. I think maybe I can't have kids anymore. Not like I'm planning on having kids, but I think I can't have kids anymore. He did land that jumping back kick fairly hard. Didn't really knock me over. I was still standing, but he felt really, really bad. And then Nate also accidentally back kicked me once. But Nate didn't actually hit me full on. He was supposed to hit the pad, and he went and kind of grazed me a little bit here. And I was a bit winded. I'll admit I was a bit winded. Nate's a pretty hefty guy. He's a pretty stocky guy. And so I had to sit down and recover my breath. That time I had to sit down and recover my breath. I said, do not kick the pad holder. It's a very simple concept. Yeah, I was fine. Nothing was broken though, thankfully. However, I did hurt my knee doing, not because, I wouldn't blame it on the Taekwondo training. I did hurt my knee. I did have ACL, anterior cruciate ligament tear, and I had surgery for that. I also have a slight meniscus tear in that same knee because of that injury. So occasionally if I do too much roundhouses, sometimes when I do too much kicking, a certain style of kicking will cause maybe a little bit of inflammation in the knee where I have a meniscus tear. The ACL is perfectly fine. It's completely fixed. And it took me some time before I realized the ACL was fine and the stuff that's going on with my knee is still just because of the meniscus tear that they couldn't fix. I just want stem cells. Stem cells, regrow the meniscus. That was unintentional. If I recall, I was super tired that night. I didn't fully turn. Look, you always get tired when you do Taekwondo meet. So I was way off center and I felt suitably terrible. I also try to tell you that you should have been kicking with the other leg. I was fine. I was fine. I've had big guys kick me and kick when I've been holding. I don't have those pads now, but they have those big giant pads that are like big giant rectangular ones that you hold like this. I've had like really big guys are like 6 feet something and they're pretty stocky, like practice their back kicks on that before. So I know how powerful some of these kicks could be without them actually kicking me for real. It's like, because you can feel it when they kick the pads, you know, and like they're like not even kicking with their full strength. They're just practicing, you know, accuracy and technique on the pads, and I'm holding it, right? And they're like kicking maybe 50% of their full strength, and I'm like still kind of like, you know, you still have to brace yourself quite a bit for it. So I know how much power a big person can put in their kicks. Oh jeez. I was fine. He's forgiven. It's just a funny story. I do have a video of him sparring with a little girl though during his test. It is cute. The little girl was so brave. Adorable. Okay, so this the other part of this technique, the other side of the same technique on the other side, the mirror. Again, we do a high block. And we're supposed to do a side kick. So side kick, pull, grab the person's head, and you want to do elbow strike. So I think the biggest thing is you want to step down and grab the head at the same time. And the minute you grab the head, you want to just pull out with the elbow strike. But what's going to end up in the actual pattern is you're going to end up with like this motion. So your pattern will just end up looking like that. So you don't necessarily do that. But that is the application of that part of Taekwondo, that part of the pattern. There's also I do also have another playlist of Taekwondo Tuesday videos that explain some of the applications for some of the techniques as well. Let's see if I can pull that up. Wait, why is this open? I did not know that was open. So this one, okay, hopefully I don't have anything else running in the background. I'm trying to be careful. Okay, so this one also has, oops. Why did I spell Tuesday in the video? I don't know. They spell it differently. That playlist also explains some of the applications. Don't feel so bad, Death to Kill. I actually feel bad when other people get worse injuries than I did with Taekwondo. And, you know, it's funny though, I was thinking about this. Bone breaks, breaking your bones, are pretty serious. When you do break your bone, I mean, you need to get it fixed right away. You need to go to the hospital right away. But I think when people break their bones, they recover a lot faster than ligaments, than ligament tears. Ligament tears, you can't really recover. Your bones will, as long as the bone gets set properly, your bones will recover, will heal up. But ligaments don't actually repair themselves at all. You do have to have surgery, and you have to have they take a graft. They take a graft from another part of your body in order to replace the ligament that was torn. So, and I think the recovery time for ligament tears is a lot longer than recovering from a bone break, sadly. But that being said, I don't think I'd ever want to break any bones. And definitely broken ribs are horrible because it's hard you can't really set those. You just have to wait. Set properly. Yeah, that's good. I just took me in a cast and let my right hand heel warp. I'm sorry. Since the States. I'm kind of lucky. I was in Toronto. I mean, Toronto is the not the capital of Canada. Toronto is the capital of the province of Ontario, but it is the biggest city in Canada, both I think geographically and by population. And there's the medical industry is like there's a lot of medicine in the city of Toronto. You get really good care. And there's also sick kids hospitals in Toronto. Sometimes sick kids from the U.S. actually get flown over to the sick kids hospital in Toronto. So I think I'm just lucky that I was from Toronto and I was able to get good medical care for my knee injury. My 4th and 5th metacarpal healed at an angle. I'm sorry, I can't turn that hand with tools. Oh wow. I'm so sorry about that. You can play games still though, right? Yeah, the only thing I had was maybe a cracked knuckle here. It was kinda swollen. How long was my knuckle swollen after that testing, Nate?
A year or so.
Huh?
It's about a year or something crazy.
No, but the redness went away first.
Yeah, but it still stayed swollen and weird for a while.
Yeah, it was still a little bumpy because it was probably broken, like slightly shattered knuckle bone here and slight little maybe fractured bones that were still floating around, right? Yeah, I can do most things, just not anything that would require me to have my entire hand worth of force pushing something on hard. But you got your other hand. Yeah. I think I've just been lucky. This knuckle thing was because I was trying to do a board break during one of my black belt tests, and the board, unfortunately, this does happen with Taekwondo sometimes, with board breaking. Sometimes the pine boards may get a little bit of humidity in them, or they may get a little bit wet or whatever, and well, you are not really supposed to break wooden boards when they're damp or wet or a little bit humid. They need to be dry. Dry wood cracks. That's the whole premise behind board breaking. And then with enough force on dry wood, it will crack. So I think I was hitting 2 pine boards, but the one in front, the one that I was actually hitting, was a little soft. The one behind it was cracking actually. The one behind it was cracking actually. And the funny thing was, I stopped trying to punch the board because I punched it once and I went, okay, I'll try again. Maybe I did something wrong. Punched it again. Stopped. I looked at the board. They had my knuckle imprints in the board. I should have kept the board, Nate. It had my knuckle imprints in the board. It was funny. And then my Taekwondo master comes over and looks at it and he starts laughing. He's like showing it to the other Taekwondo masters. They're like, oh look, there's like knuckle prints. But the board behind it was breaking, so I just took the board behind it and just went like this and broke it. Because it was just at that point I was like, this is ridiculous. Give me something to break now. Sounds like malpractice almost to me. Yeah, Nate has more experience with the medical care in the U.S. than I do. It's unfortunate. I always hear these stories. I always hear these kinds of stories from people from the States, and I always feel so bad. How can it be this bad, Nate? How can medical care be this bad in a country that's considered a first world country?
Americans ask themselves this all the time.
I don't get this. You can't sue them in Florida? Really? I guess because it's different by state. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, okay, so what time do I have? Do I have time to quickly go over? I'm going to go over this pattern one more time, Taekwondo. I seem to remember the first 4 Taekwondo patterns really well. The last 4 I tend to forget easier. They are more complicated too, but I'm going to go over. Long discussion, and I don't want to take up your whole that's fine. But I'm just saying, overall, I don't understand how medical care can be that bad. I don't. And I mostly hear these stories from people in the States. You know, I don't really hear these kinds of things a lot in Canada. I mean, granted, there are things people complain about in Canada when it comes to healthcare, but it's not like, yeah, I understand. We're going to try to leave Florida. What about another state? What about New York State? New York State's supposed to be good. But I guess someplace like New York City would be expensive to live. It's about as expensive as Toronto or Vancouver or some other place. And you're not taking up my whole stream. I don't mind talking. I'm also a little tired today, so. And I just realized I should plug in my Chromebook before it shuts off on me. So I'm gonna go over this pattern one more time and then see what we have to do. Okay, Taekak Ojang is Taekak number 5. So from Junbi, not New York. Sorry, that was too loud. I was close to the speaker. Not New York City. I like New York City. It reminded me of Toronto. I can't help it. I was born and raised in Toronto, and I lived there until I moved to the Netherlands. So I kind of, it's my home. I love the big cities. I don't know why. I'm an inner city kid. I'm still an inner city youth. Junbi, Taekak Ojang. So we're gonna go 1, 2. Long stance, low block, hammer fist, middle block, kick, back fist, middle block, kick, back fist, middle block, and back fist. And then we go here, and this is when we do our first elbow strike, which I can't really do because of space. I'm mostly just trying to remember the patterns. Kick, low block, and then high block, and this is when we do that side kick, elbow strike, and then high block here, and then side kick, elbow strike, and then low block, high block, front snap kick, and down, back fist, and Junbi. Okay, I remember Ojang now. Okay. Best stands of progressive ideas in America, Minnesota, Washington State, and Oregon. What? The medical, hi Rachel, welcome to my channel. The medical care is bad in the States because for the most part, with a few exceptions, the medical field sold up to the money potentials of the pharmaceutical industry, money recession, and data assumptions. What has broken? Interesting. But I guess you could say that's probably, in a nutshell, the major problem with the US right now these days. I would consider Oregon if it didn't just want a complete change of pace. Oregon, like Portland, right? Yeah, I understand. I mean, that is why Nate and I moved to Europe too. We wanted a complete change of pace. Hopefully you'll get to. Hopefully you will get to. Hopefully you'll get the vaccine too, and then maybe you can move. I totally understand. Complete change of pace. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery. Damn it. There's some dust here. Alright. So that was Taekwondo Ojang. I'm going to quickly see if I can remember the next pattern, Taekwondo Yukjang, Taekwondo number 6. Do I even remember Nate? No, I don't. Why don't I remember this pattern? No. This was one of my favorite patterns from Junbi. This? No. Taekwondo Kyucheng. Taekwondo Kyucheng was this. Kick. And this. Open hand. Kick. Step down. Long stance. Open hand. Punch. Kick. And punch. And then we come back here. We gotta come back here. Open hand, block, kick, punch. And then we do this. And again, we have to do a high roundhouse kick. And you want to step down. And you do long stance, low block. Right. And then kick. stance, kick, punch. I'm trying to remember now. Did I mess up something there? I feel like I messed up something. I messed up something, I don't remember. I messed up something. I think I got the first couple of parts right. There's something wrong because at some point I was supposed to go backwards. At some point I ended up going backwards. So the end is like this for Taekwondo Yukjang. So I messed up something. There's 2 key ups in that pattern. The 2 key ups in that pattern are when you do these, or when you do this technique and you do a high kick, right? And then you have to go. So, and that is probably a trickier part in that pattern. That if you're learning Taekwondo and you're at this pattern, you're learning this pattern, Taekwondo Yukjang. So at some point, you have to step forward. You step forward and you use your opposite hand to do a high. You're going to do a high middle block. It's more like a high mid, it's a mid-high block. Open hand mid-high block. And you want to turn you're going to turn. You actually are going to turn. You step in a long stance. So you step forward in a long stance. You do this high block like this, but turn. Just turn your torso. And then you have to do a high, you want to do a high roundhouse kick to there, right? And you step down normally, and then you do, I believe it was this block, but I can't remember entirely. But I do know that part of that technique. And then on the other side too, you step forward this one, you do this same thing. So you just want to step forward in a long stance, do your mid-high block, and turn your torso. And then you do your high roundhouse. Step down, turn around 270. That's what you want to do for that part of that pattern. Try to get that part of Yukjang down, get it correct, and make it look proper. Because if you don't do that part of Yukjang properly, if it looks sloppy, it makes the rest of the pattern look sloppy for some reason, because that part of the pattern stands out the most in the Yukjang pattern. And oops, one else keeps shutting off, but that's alright. Oregon. I heard a lot of good things about Portland, Oregon. I think Nate, your friend, lived in Portland for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was nice. Also, having lived in places with single payer and regulated insurance offerings, insurance in the U.S. is a big part of the problem too. American insurance is technically performing to the best of their ability, which is how they avoid litigation. There's a sort of, what's their definition of best of their ability? I studied a lot. I'm not a lawyer. I thought about becoming a lawyer in Canada, but then I gave up that idea when I gave up on the idea of becoming a lawyer in Canada because I was planning a movie. There is a sort of thin white line of doctors that won't speak out against each other in their treatment of patients. They milk your insurance with testing and half-step treatment as they just expect all patients to not be under financial. Yeah, you know what? It's like that. It's like that in a lot of professions. It really is. Like even the legal field, medical and legal fields, they're like that. But I think some of those things are changing. I don't know. Maybe changing in Canada. Maybe slowly changing in the States. Not insurance. You mean healthcare. American healthcare? Yeah, American healthcare, yeah. But private insurance companies are part of the problem, yeah, and yes they are. Nate agrees. Well, Nate's mom and his sister are both still in the States right now. His brother is in Germany, but his mom and his sister are still in the States, so. And his mom actually needs medical care and health care as well, so horror stories there too. Okay, so what did I forget about this pattern? I think I did this part right. So down. Yes, that is a long stance and a mid-high block, then punch, then kick, punch. Yeah, okay. And then that one, I'm double checking my pattern. And kick, punch, and then turn 180. Yep, it's there. Do that kick. You key up on the kick there. Actually, there's only one key up, and Oh, there's only one key up. Sorry, there's a key up in Taekwondo on the second high roundhouse kick you do. Step down. Yep. Oh, then it's a low block that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I remember. That's why it didn't come out right. Okay. Got it. I think I remember now. Okay, I'm gonna do this one quickly. It shouldn't take too long. 30 seconds? Nah, I'm not gonna do 30 seconds. 45 seconds to a minute. Let's just do this. So from 준비, we go this. Oh, this one. Taekwondo. Can't really kick there. High block punch, and then I got a kick, step forward, long stance punch, and then again here, we do this, punch, and then kick, punch. And then from here, you want to come back, you want to cross and go down, and then step forward, like that. You do on the high roundhouse, come over here, low block, kick, back to that, and then here, low block, kick, back stance, this. Yes, there we go. Now we do this. One. So again, back stance, double knife hand block, double knife hand block. Now long stance, palm block, punch. Long stance, palm block, punch. And we're done. Done that pattern. Okay, so I do need to refresh. See, I know 1 to 4 1, 2, 3, 4, first 4 patterns really well. Refresh my memory, that worked one day. And one day, one stream. And then we did Ojang and Yukjang. There's 2 more after this. Chijang and Paljang. What I'm going to do today is I'm running out of time. It's been about an hour and a half. Thank you guys for joining me today. Let's see if, I'm not sure how many people, I'm not sure who's here right now. Maybe we'll just host, I don't know. Could be a small raid, I guess. Let me just check out this category. And okay, bye-bye. And no problems with the chatting, Death Kill. I'm a little tired today too, which is why. But I don't mind doing the Taekwondo patterns. One of the things I loved about doing martial arts was doing the patterns. I've seen Tai Chi. Actually, Nate and I did take some Tai Chi classes for a little bit back in Toronto, testing it out. And at the time, it was just doing Tai Chi after. Doing Tai Chi at night instead of doing Taekwondo. It warmed me up and I wanted to do more Taekwondo, but then it was too late to do Taekwondo at 10 p.m. at night. But we did Tai Chi, and I still think comparatively, Tai Chi patterns are more complex than Taekwondo patterns for sure. And I feel like a complete klutz with Tai Chi patterns. Like, I can't do that. I can't move that slow. I move that slow, it's just like disaster. I fall all over the place. Okay, let's see who is in this category. Do we want to do this category or do we want to do another one? I want to find some other interesting martial arts in this category. Most of the time people are doing, what's this one? Yeah, I know that one. I want to find like more, there needs to be more martial arts, I think. But people are just sometimes just doing just basic workouts, which kind of bore me, to be honest. I believe in strength training and cardio. You've got to cross-train with martial arts, but at the same time, I definitely think that it's important to find... Oh, Issa's on already. She's got some people. I'm just trying to see if we can find somebody else today. Anybody new that I don't know. I don't want just an exercise stream. Yeah, I think these are all just exercise streams. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw up a host, and you guys can drop in if you feel like. Let's see, there's a couple of people who are streaming online right now. Hold on, let's see what I remember from Tai Chi. Listen. I tried to do Tai Chi, but the dojo was practicing the combat emphasis, and I was really like, nah, I already kickbox and I'm looking for meditation. Yeah, exactly. They got excited when Nate showed up at the Tai Chi place, though, because I think they wanted a big guy to practice with. They kind of ignored me, even though I had way more experience with that. But I was already a black belt in Taekwondo. I just didn't want to say anything very much, but they got really excited because Nate was there, and I need my glasses. I want to throw a few. Okay, I'm gonna throw up a few shout outs to see chat. Yeah, I understand. You could try to do some meditation with Taekwondo if you want sometimes. But if you want to try, the first shout out I'm going to do is for Isa Parvati Yoga. She is doing yoga. She's a yoga streamer. And she has a really, really nice yoga stream. It's pretty chill and cool. And she does do some meditations in her stream. So, Death the Kale, you might actually like that. And anybody else is interested in some kind of like martial arts meditation. Yoga, by the way, was originally a martial art. I don't know if a lot of people know that. And mostly what I remember from Tai Chi was them going, you have to relax your breathing. Think barrel, not washboard abs. Also the opening zombie move. In the style I tried. It wasn't Yang, it was Wu, right? Wu style. So that's the first shout out I'm going to do. And the other shout out, there's somebody else doing... there is another yoga streamer out, or is she not live anymore? Oh, she might not be live anymore. Never mind. Okay. Actually, that's fine. There's a couple of Duolingo streamers right now too, that I think people should check out. There is, but if you want some meditation and some yoga, check out Isa. Isa? Is it Izane? I don't know. Duolingo streamers, yes. I'm gonna shout out Aramil is a French speaker who's learning Japanese, and shout out FJ is also again online. He's doing some more Spanish again. You can check him out as well. He's actually a fellow Torontonian. You can check those guys out. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just post. Am I going to post? We're going to post. Let's just host Isa for now, actually. I am just going to throw up a host. We are going to host Isa for now. And I'm going to say bye-bye for now. Because of the unfortunate internet issues that Nate and I have been having in our place, I don't have a stable cable internet. I can't really stream like every day, even if I wanted to pop on and do a surprise stream. So I'm pretty much going to try and just stick to my schedule. The next stream on schedule is Thursday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. Central European Time, GMT +1, and stream content will be announced. I'm thinking I'm probably going to play a game. Just haven't decided which game I'm going to stream on Thursday. And so hopefully I will see you there. And I'm going to say bye-bye for now. And I'm going to throw up the host for Isa. Let's just host her. Bye-bye, Thor. And thanks for the follows. I don't know if anyone can hear me.